Yeah. Going on, Illuminators. Shiny ones. Unstoppable ones. Juggernauted. Lion-hearted. Electromagnetic. Plasmatic. Epigenetic. Breathing creatures. Living from the inside out. Taking care of business. Striving to thrive in your own unique dimensional reality. Y'all have one. Y'all have a religion too. How's your religion? Belief system, ideology. Come on. Hope everybody's doing well. Dr. Bruce, it's time. 2 pages. Shoddy. Holiday. Christmas. So good. Lots to be thankful for. Let's read Cell Biology 101. By the way, the biology of belief, get the book. It'll help you create your own unique dimensional reality and get the outcomes, putting good inputs in there, right? But let's just learn something here. Boston C loves learning. All right, Cell Biology 101. In retrospect, scientists should have known that genes couldn't provide the control of our lives. Wait a minute, I thought that genetic determinism. Okay. By definition, the brain is the organ responsible for controlling and coordinating the physiology and behavior of an organism. Conventional science, as revealed in a recent publication by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, this was back in 2005. The book's 20 years old, but it's been updated. Perceived that the nucleus is basically the cell's brain. It contains the equivalent of the cell's gray matter, its genetic material or DNA, in the form of genes, each with a host of helper molecules. DNA determines the cell's identity, masterminds its activities, and is the official cookbook for the body's proteins. Since genes were presumed to control the traits of the cell, and the nucleus is the organelle that contains virtually all of the cell's DNA, considering the nucleus as the brain of the cell made sense. Sure. But is the nucleus truly the cell's brain? Nope. It's the membrane. Let's read on. If our assumption that the nucleus and its DNA containing material is the brain of the cell, then removing the cell's nucleus, a procedure called nucleation, should result in the immediate death of the cell. And now for the big experiment. Maestro, a drum roll if you please. The scientist drags our unwilling cell into the microscopic operating arena and straps it down. Using a micro-manipulator, the scientist guides a needle-like micropipette into position above the cell. With a deft thrust of the manipulator, our investigator plunges the pipette deep into the cell's cytoplasmic interior. By applying a little suction, the nucleus is drawn up into the pipette. I hope I'm pronouncing that the right way. It's all good. Pipette. And the pipette is withdrawn from the cell. Below the nucleus engorged pipette lies our sacrificial cell, its brain torn out. But wait, it's still moving. My God, the cell is still alive. The wound has closed, and like a recovering surgical patient, the cell begins to slowly stagger about. Soon the cell is back on its feet. Okay, it's pseudopods. fleeing the microscope's field with the hope that it will never see a doctor again. A lot of truth in that. Follow enucleation, many cells can survive for up to 2 or more months without genes. Viable enucleated cells do not lie about the brain-dead lumps of cytoplasm on life support systems. These cells actively ingest and metabolize food, maintain coordinated operation of their physiologic systems, respiration, digestion, excretion, motility, etc. Retain an ability to communicate with other cells and are able to engage in appropriate responses to growth and protection requiring environmental stimuli. Unsurprisingly, enucleation is not without side effects. Without their genes, cells are not able to divide, nor are they able to reproduce any protein parts they lose through the normal wear and tear of the cytoplasm. The inability to replace defective cytoplasmic proteins contributes to mechanical dysfunctions that ultimately result in the death of the cell. All right, doctor, tell us more. Our experiment was designed to test the idea that the nucleus is the brain of the cell. If the cell had died immediately following enucleation, the observations would have at least supported the belief. However, the results are unambiguous. Nucleated cells still exhibit complex, coordinated, life-sustaining behaviors, which means you can overcome your overcomers, which implied that the cell's brain is still intact and functioning. The fact that enucleated cells retain their biological functions in the absence of genes is by no means a new discovery. Over 100 years ago, classical embryologists routinely removed the nuclei from dividing egg cells and showed that a single enucleated egg cell was able to develop as far as a blastula, an embryonic stage consisting of 40 or more cells. Today, enucleated cells are used for industrial purposes as living feeder layers in cell cultures designed for virus vaccine production. If the nucleus and its genes are not the cell's brain, then what exactly is DNA's contribution to cellular life? Nucleated cells die not because they have lost their brain, but because they have lost their reproductive capabilities. Without the ability to reproduce their parts, nucleated cells cannot replace failed protein building blocks, nor replicate themselves. So the nucleus is not the brain of the cell. The nucleus is the cell's gonad. Confusing the gonad with the brain is an understandable error because science has always been and is still a patriarchal endeavor. Males have often been accused of thinking with their schmuggadog, so it's not entirely surprising that science has inadvertently confused the nucleus with the cell's brain. Amazing. When you think on this stuff. All right, so you got 50 trillion cells in you. So begin to think about your body, what's going on in the inside, all the cells, your brain cells, every cell, all 50 trillion. 50 trillion mini yous. Powerful, unstoppable. Full of light, love, working on your junk, right? Taking out your own trash every day. Not what's in everybody else's trash bin. What's in your trash bin? Take out your own trash, right? We don't do it perfectly. Right, so, yeah. Cells, the cell biology, it's amazing, the study of life. Love it. All right, Boston C, let you go. I'll see you soon. Stay in the way, stay in the path. Love big love, practice loving big. Get